And here we are, installment number 4 of Motivational Minutes with Al. Alan, good morning.
Thank you very much, Bob. It's great to see you guys again, and you in particular, and you're very high-tech with your machinery you brought in here. And the thing we kind of focused on here was something on the wall that's in the beginning of our national championship program here at North Central College, and a team that I learned a heck of a lot from. And as athletes, you come to college to learn and grow, but coaches learn and grow from the athletes that are within the program. And this was our first national championship team, and it was out in Franklin Park in Boston, Massachusetts in 1975. The year before, we had gotten 3rd in the national championship, and this year we won the national title with 91 points with a team that I call the no-names, because individually they really did not have any individual accolades by themselves, but together, collectively, they were an outstanding, great team and ended up being the national champions. You got Scott Geisler here, you got Jim Mitchell, Bruce Fisher, Vern Martin, Bobby Patrick, John McNider, Ron Pirro. You've got Dave Hartman and coach with me, Glenn Banky, great role model, for these guys. And so it was a very, very special moment for me and a team that I learned an awful lot about what it takes below the surface, below talent, to become a great, great team.
Cool. All right, Al, we're back in this great little review of the team of the no-names. This is obviously our first installment of kind of a series just reviewing some of the teams from the past. And clearly, starting with the no-name bunch made great sense, and just looking at what, whether it's one word or a concept that this particular team embodied that helped them achieve so much success in your mind.
I firmly believe that the greatness lies below talent, and it is at a much, much deeper level. And to be able to explain it, define it, understand it, see it, is difficult. You must feel it. Some people might call it synergy. Synergy is a real thing. It's like talking again about the air. You know it's there, you're breathing it, but you can't touch it, you can't see it, but it's there. Synergy is a real thing that connects every individual and helps every individual to be far better when he's a part of something bigger and more important than himself. And that's what we call a team. And so I think one way that I might explain this in a more tangible way, a little bit more objective way, is I think back at back in the old days when there was a guy by the name of Carl Pelker, who was an outstanding football coach at Millikan and a good friend, and he also coached track. And whenever he would be up at Chicagoland area recruiting, he and I would go out and become very philosophical by going to a place which is now Walgreens on Ogden Avenue, and it used to be called Rascals. And Carl and I would sit beside the fire and talk philosophy. And I'll never forget, so one time he's talking about football, and he said, talking about success in football, he said, successful football teams have a higher rate of scoring in the red zone. That's the zone from the 20-yard line to this goal line. He said when they have certain things and certain characteristics in common. Number one, he said they must believe in themselves. And that's accumulated on a daily basis. The self-discipline, the commitment, the goal to be the best you can on a daily basis, and that consistency adds up to build confidence internally for the individual. So number one, you must believe in yourself. Number two, you must believe in your teammates. Okay? And Glenn Banky is the one that really explained this one time, because I hear different people talking about it, but Glenn Banky was the first one I ever heard from. He said, when I step to the line, he said, I look to my left and I believe in that guy. I look to my right and I believe in that guy, and they look at me and we believe in each other. There's that synergistic connection that we believe in our teammates. Number three, I think it's critically important. You've got to believe in the system of training that you've been working with. And I think in this day and age, there's so many outside variables that are coming in and trying to say, you got to do this, got to do that, got to have this, got to have that. And what's most important is whatever system of training that you are training with, you must believe in that system.
Mm-hmm.
You got to believe in yourself, your teammates, your system, and you must believe in your coaches. And when you do that, you've got your greatest chance of scoring from the 20-yard line into the end zone. So those are tangible ingredients that help people to be successful. The second thing that Carl Pelker told me one time, I thought, and it deals with values. And values are the foundation that set the virtues that really hold great individuals and great teams together, that are common values and virtues that lead to success. And Carl told me this time about General Patton in World War II. He said, you know, one time General Patton was asked, how did you win so many battles when you were outgunned and outmanned by the Germans? How did your men, you know, why were they so successful?
Right.
He said, you know what? Number one, my men were fighting for their families back home. They were fighting for the values they believed in. They were fighting for America. They were fighting for the virtues that made, and characteristics that made America great. And they wanted to preserve those for future generations.
Mm-hmm.
They were fighting for those values. And he said, the Germans, they were fighting for Hitler. And deep down, my perception of that is that it was sad, but it seems to me many Germans really were fighting for a cause they could not deep down believe in because their leader was flawed. They didn't believe in the values and the virtues and what they were doing. And so I think that's critically important in terms of having a common bond and a common goals and a common set of values and virtues that bond us together.
Yeah.
And I think one of the things you said, Bob, a little earlier was, what is that bond? Mm-hmm. And I can't come up with any. People have heard me say this before, but I can't come up with anything more powerful or a stronger bond or a stronger emotion that helps people to separate from not being selfish, but becoming selfless.
Mm-hmm.
And to bond together with a common goal that they share, that they want to accomplish together. And again, I like the old saying, what good is success if you've got no one to share it with?
Right.
But when you are bonded together and you have a common goal, and this is what we want to accomplish, and you're working towards that together, that is what makes great teams and separates the good teams, the great teams from the good teams.
Cool.
And how does that relate to 1975 and the No Names? And again, you look again back at that picture, which we don't have time to do right now. Again, we did not even have matching uniforms. So it wasn't the uniforms. It wasn't all the fluffy stuff around us. It was something deeper, and it wasn't talent. It's what lies below the talent that had that internal glue that connected us at a foundational level to be the best that we could be. Didn't mean we're going to win, but it was guaranteeing that whatever happened, we were going to be the very best that we could be. And that's why you take a group of no-names that had individual, not great individual talent, but you put them together and you synergistically got a great, great outcome because of the common bond and the most powerful emotion there is, that is the greatest glue for that bond, and that is love. Love, when you love your teammates and care for them selflessly, more than you do about yourself, and the common goal that you share, that is what leads to great teams.
Awesome. Thanks, Al.
Okay.
Look forward to next month.
All right.